makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Side.
no, good.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Ben, I guess.
We're ready now.
Okay. Okay. Right. Good morning, everyone. If I could get folks' attention and call to order the Human Service Committee meeting for today, July 19th. Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can I have an approval of minutes from the prior committee meeting? Mr. McGowan on the,
I'll make the motion.
okay,
Second.
and on the second, Supervisor Frazier, thank you. We're going to do, again, we're doing veteran services first. I will actually ask Denise if she can bring us through, I think there's 2 action agenda items for us to discuss and deliberate on this morning. Good
Mr.
morning,
Driscoll,
Denise.
I'm sorry, can you please vote on your motion to approve the minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, a motion to approve the minutes.
All in-
Aye.
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 Thank you. Okay. You're on, Denise. Thank you.
Okay, so first on the agenda is an intent to fill. I'm looking to fill 2 of the per diem van driver positions at this time.
Motion to bring that to the floor.
I'll second
Supervisor McGowan, Supervisor Frazier. Discussions, questions?
How's that going? I know the workforce it's a scary thing right now, so.
Okay, so Supervisor, currently we have 3 part-time positions. They're on a every 3-day rotating schedule. And 2 of my drivers are unexpectedly out of work. So I have 1 driver trying to fill all the slots right now, which is not, should not really be happening. We didn't refill the position last year when it was vacated due to COVID. And at this point in time, I think that it is possible that these 2 drivers that are out may not be back at all, but I don't have a definitive on that right now. But I would like to fill the per diem slots and thought that if we needed to backfill the permanent part-time slots, we'd already have people trained.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I'd like to call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. If you can bring us into request number 2.
Request number 2. I believe we did this at the last committee meeting. We have come upon with the peer-to-peer program that the increase in the credit card limit for, it's a BMO Harris card that's earmarked for peer-to-peer is not substantial enough for the buying power that we need on a rotating monthly basis with regards to the program. So we are looking to increase that credit limit to 10,000.
Thank you. A motion to bring it to the floor.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Supervisor Frazier, Supervisor Smith on the second. Thank you. Questions or concerns on this issue? Supervisor Shepler?
Thank you. From what I can glean here, originally you had a $500 limit and it was increased recently to $1,000. $10,000 is a huge jump. What exactly are your needs in purchasing that you have to have $10,000 a month for?
Nicole, would you mind? Thank you.
Nicole's our program coordinator.
Hi, for those who I didn't meet at the last committee, I'm Nicole. I'm the program coordinator for Adirondack Peer-to-Peer and our veterans program. And currently we have about 4 consistent activities that we do a month. And then we are adding about 1 or 2 other, and they range from anywhere from $50 to $600. And if I'm spending that amount on the activities, then that leaves me no buying power for any of our advertisement type things. For instance, we purchased an ad in the Chronicle that has been extremely fruitful. other things, purchasing pamphlets, and then it really leaves us with nothing else. So for instance, if we have a veteran that we are meeting up with to have lunch or coffee with to discuss their needs, then I'm just out. So that's why we're hoping to up the credit card limit.
May I?
Yep,
Thank
yeah,
you.
please.
So it's only Warren County that funds this credit card? It's not,
The program is for Warren and Washington County veterans, but the grant money is funneled through Warren County. So yes, it's a Warren County credit card.
And for the benefit of the members present, can you tell us how much is in the budget for those types of activities and events?
Yes, so we just transferred, yeah, we have about 20,000 right now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Moore?
I would just make a request. I'm not opposed to giving you the flexibility that you need in order to make the program work in real time. But I would just request that if it is a situation of a foreseen expense where you do have some lead time, like buying advertising, things like that, that rather than you put it on the credit card, we go through the regular voucher process where the county treasurer cuts a check.
And we do that.
Yes, yeah, just want to make that point.
Appreciate that comment. Thank you. Do we have other questions or comments? Looking around the room, I'll ask again, any other questions or comments? Supervisor Shepler, yeah.
thank you. Again, $10,000 is a huge chunk of money, and you do have sufficient funds in your budget. And as Supervisor Moore indicated, it would be a good idea to utilize and do it with a budget code and an expenditure and get a check from the county. Is there any way that you could foresee doing it for like $5,000 instead of $10,000?
We would definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could definitely do that. And if it comes up that that's not working, then we can bring it back. But yeah, we would be grateful to work with that.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Is that in the, is that a motion?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. McGowan, do you have a question or do you want to second that motion?
Well, I question and second. Can I do it duly?
Our parliamentarian?
You have a motion on the floor right now to
I'll
approve the
second.
10,000.
Okay,
So I would suggest that that motion was made by Mrs. Frazier and Ms. Smith. So if they don't have an objection, I would just suggest you amend the prior motion.
can you amend that?
That's fine with me.
Okay, so the motion has been amended by Supervisors Frazier and Smith. And a new motion has been offered by Supervisor Frazier. Am I correct?
No,
Shepler.
Shepler, sorry, okay. I'm looking
That's all right.
at
That's
it.
fine.
no,
Yeah, Shepler.
To five.
And Mr. McGowan is,
no. They amended it.
They've amended their prior
okay, they've
motion.
amended there, so they're,
They're to 5,000.
okay, great, okay.
But I do have a question.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Mr.
Yeah, just to follow up with Supervisor Shepler there, it's a great program, and I just want to go on the record. We're not saying, hey, let's cut this back. It's just a big jump, and unfortunately, our phone rings. A lot of times with people not understanding, but if we can do it in smaller increments, keep things moving, and like our administrator asked for, if there's any pre-planning on the vouchers and that would be great, but don't hesitate to ever come back and ask for, for whatever you need, especially for our veterans. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? I will call the question. All in favor of the amending to $5,000, the request for the peer-to-peer credit card, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. Thanks, Nicole. Other matters to discuss, Denise?
Yes, at this time, I would like to just do an overview of the Veteran Services Department.
Great.
Claims update. I've handed out a one-page sheet. I'm not sure if everybody got it or if you have to share, but I just wanted to review what's been going on since the last time I reported on this in March. As you can see, when we start with 2019, that the claims would never change because the year has already closed out. But since March, The retro has moved up about $200,000, meaning that either claims are now still just getting approved or their appeals are now just being approved, decisions are being sent out. 2020, I was off by one on the claims. I just wanted to make sure and bring that to your attention. I stated in March it was 95 claims. It was actually 96 claims. And again, you can see from March, so the first line, the 381 jumped to 513 in retros. So over the past, what was that, couple of months, 3 months, we've had about 400,000 coming into the county and surrounding area on approved veterans claims and appeals. Okay. And then also with 2021 added on there, this is recent for us also. The retro dollar amount of just over $100,000 was just approved within the last 2 weeks. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, and we're now up to 52 claims opened for the year of 2021. Is there any questions with regards to that section of the update? No? Transportation, as of May 3rd, we resumed our transportation to and from the VA hospital. We are running 5 days a week, but at a limited capacity. Currently, we have not reached the limited capacity per run, so we will continue with that limited capacity. And as the demand shifts, we will also, okay? Or depending on how COVID is panning out as time goes on. And again, the Veterans Health Administration is still at limited capacity with services, and mostly all appointments are pre-scheduled. Walk-ins are allowed, however, they're running through the full process still outside their hospital of going through all the COVID questioning and contact tracing. Any questions? No? I'm going to ask Nicole to come back up and give her a overview on the peer-to-peer.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick update on how the program's going. As I said before, we have about 4 consistent meetings a month. We meet once in Washington County, once in Warren County on Tuesdays during the month. We have a hike once a month that's been very successful. We're getting about 10 plus participants for all of our hikes. Some of our younger veterans have been really enjoying that, including my husband. And then we also have art therapy once a month on Zoom, and the ladies and one gentleman that frequently participate in that seem to be really enjoying it. And because of the love of art and the veterans in our group, we're going to be having a veterans art show August 10th at the Salem Veterans Room. And then also we will be participating on August 26th in the Military Appreciation Day ceremony at the Washington County Fair. And we would encourage everybody to attend and spread the word. That day it's free for military and children, and then veterans tickets are going to be significantly reduced, and the program will be handing out a large amount of those tickets. Any questions about the program? Thank you so much for your time and your support.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you.
Privilege of the floor, and I'll ask Mr. Lehman if there's anything on YouTube.
Hi, Chairman Driscoll. Nothing on YouTube.
Anyone from this room have anything, comments, questions? Okay, great. Motion to adjourn the meeting, or this part of the meeting?
Nope.
No, I don't have to do that. That's right. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
I was hoping it was our last.
That's allowed.
Okay. We'll be hearing from Countryside first, Amy, and then we'll get to DSS.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have a very short agenda. It's just a request to fill full-time cook number 5, grade 4, due to resignation. And I'd like to backfill. A lot of times, a food service person will fill out an application and be interested in the position. The rationale is that it's mandated and it is 50% reimbursable.
Motion to bring that to the floor, please. Supervisor Shepler, Supervisor McGowan on the second. Questions, comments? Brad?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any luck
And finding someone,
Yeah,
it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. I mean, wages is probably the biggest battle that we have ahead of us. I mean, private industry is just offering so much more starting. I try to continue to say, look at what we have though for benefits here with the county, retirement, benefit time. Hopefully it's enough to get the right candidate in.
well, I reached out to you and my prayers are with you because like I said, that's why I brought it up because I know it's ridiculous offers coming out there
It is.
and they can absorb those prices a little bit easier, but we have other things coming down the road. We heard earlier with, US Foods, pulling back and. we
Yeah,
got
I was
some
gonna
scary
mention
times,
that.
So we're going to keep the power of positive thinking moving here, so. Thank you.
Nothing else? I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. Anything else that you'd like to say, Amy?
Just the census is 34 currently. We have, we're starting next month, I think it'll be. We are doing a advertising program with Price Chopper. So I think it was $250. It'll be a business size card. It'll be all of our information to contact us, and it goes out to 64,000 prescription bags a year. So, I mean, it was a win-win.
Thank you.
So,
I have a question, but I'm going to go to Mr. Moore first and ask him to ask his question. It may be the same question.
Yeah, my question is, I should know the answer to this, but I don't have the contract in front of me. The base salary of just about 31,000, is that reflective of the current, the new rates with the raises, or is that the old rate?
I apologize. I'm thinking it's the old rate.
Is it the old rate? Okay. Hopefully that helps a little.
I hope so.
We have two cost of living adjustments that are now built onto all the union salaries.
My question, I don't know if there was a typo, but the overtime report was from June of 19 to January of 20. And
The weekend moved over. I apologize. It was hidden. It must have popped in. So it's 2020 was 518
Okay,
and we're 809.25.
okay, great. Appreciate it. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, thanks.
And I'd like to also address Mr. Moore, if I may, please.
Sure.
Thank you. So there is an increase over the salary that is listed here.
If that's the pre-agreement salary, in other words, if that's the 2019 salary, then we would have put a 2.9% on that for 2020 and then an additional 2.65% for 2021. So if I did the math correctly, that'll get the salary up to almost 33,000. And then there'll be an additional, I believe, 2.6 going into 2022.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chris.
Morning, everyone. Nice to see everyone here in person. I think it's the first time I've been here in well over a year. So nice to see everyone. Just a quick note before I get started in regards to the salaries. That was not an error actually made by Amy. We just haven't got the new schedules over yet
Exactly.
because they just worked this out. So it's
That's why
you
I
know,
asked.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Next time the salaries will be reflective of the new salaries that are coming into play. Would you like me to go through the personnel
Yeah,
request
please go
first?
through the personnel requests.
Okay. I have several here. I have the first one, which is a notice of intent to fill a position of senior caseworker number 3. This is grade 18. This is in our preventive unit. This is due to a resignation that was effective back in June. The second one is notice to fill for caseworker 14 in the foster care unit. This was due to a promotion, which is effective July 30th. So that's nice news. We were able to promote someone. The third one is an intent to fill the position of caseworker number 6, grade 16, in the foster care unit, which is due to a resignation effective July 19th. And the next one, if there's no question on those first 3, is a notice of intent to fill the position of staff development coordinator, which is a new position that we created about a year and a half ago or so, but we were holding out to fill this position due to our fiscal austerity budget due to COVID. So really good news that we're able to fill that position. Thanks everyone for supporting that and allowing us to do that. And the last position I have is the notice of intent to fill a position of caseworker 26. This is in the APS unit, and this is due to a provisional appointment effective July 30th. And that's all I have for personnel requests.
Thank you.
All
I'll
I have
ask
for
the
action
committee-
items, actually.
I'll ask the committee if you'd like to take these on a case-by-case basis or batch any of them together, or what's your pleasure? Supervisor McGowan?
I don't have a problem batching them together.
Okay. I'll just note that their job descriptions in your packets for each of those. I appreciate the bigger typeface. I don't know if that's the standard for job descriptions, but it makes easier reading, at least for my old eyes. So I appreciate that. Let's, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, which the commissioner has read. Do I have a motion to bring those to the floor,
I'll make
please?
that motion.
Supervisor Frazier and Supervisor Shepler on the second. Thank you. Any discussion on any or all of them, please? Questions? Supervisor McGowan?
Yes, I'm just on the resignations. Was there an exit interview and all that? Did everything?
We offer exit interviews. It's part of the county policy. Some people do have exit interviews, they elect to, and some people do not. I believe that the senior caseworker did have an exit interview. I did meet with Jackie Figueroa a couple weeks back on exit interviews, and I think we went over 4 exit interviews when I was meeting with her to discuss, some of the reasons why people are leaving, and to really try to bump up our efforts to keep people from leaving based on the information that we get from the exit interviews. So it was productive, and we do the exit interviews.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd just like to comment too, on especially on the 2 senior positions, the caseworker number 3 and the staff development coordinator position. The transferable skills that are articulated in the job descriptions are pretty tough. I mean, it's not just you've done this and you've done that. They have to be really related, and I was impressed with learning that for the first time. So thank you for adding those job descriptions.
Call vote.
Yeah, I just have to backtrack. Yeah, so I'd like to call the vote. All in favor of approval of
It's
all
batched.
5? Pardon me?
It's batched.
Of the batch of 5,
Thank you.
yes. Say aye.
Aye.
Any against those? Okay, so moved. Thank you. Moving on to discussion items, and I know we've spoken about the status of a couple of things that are going on. Chris?
Yeah, we're still working on our Youth Bureau program merger with Washington County. I think we're getting to the point where we're going to start hammering out an agreement and working on the fine details of the fiscal aspects of that. As I mentioned at the last committee meeting, there's a lot of benefit for Warren County. Again, there will be no deduction of any funding that goes to any of the town programs. So we're looking forward to really bolstering this program and having a big improvement. I know that Supervisor Shepler, you've been to some of the Youth Bureau meetings in the past. And as you know, there was need for improvements, and this is what we're hoping to do. So it's something that we're excited about, and hopefully we'll be able to fit this into our budget. And at budget time, we'll be asking for permission for that to be entered into our budget. It's looking very promising, though, I can tell you that. The other thing is that I wanted to mention that we were able to get a small adult protective services grant through New York State Special Projects. This is a little over $10,000 that will be used for goods and services, including housing for clients. And also we can purchase some electronic devices such as iPads for our field workers with that money. That is something that is claimed through normal claiming processes. So it's not a formal application that has to go through our treasurer's office and through all those type of things. So Julie will be able to expand on that if anybody has any questions on that. But it is something that we will do through normal claiming processes. So it's not something that needed to necessarily be brought to committee, is my understanding. The last thing I would like to mention is that we are working very closely with our IT department. We have a lot of systems and applications that we use at DSS that have been around for many years, and we need to really get a handle on improving some of these applications. We have so far been able to update our calendaring system. We are working on an accounting software package now. We met last week again on that. We were just notified as well that the state is approved and already done the surveying to add an additional data line to Warren County DSS, which is super important because one of the things that we are affected by is latency with our systems, especially at key times it seems to happen. I mean, everyone here knows that if your system's going to go down, it's when you least need it to go down. So with that said, there are some other aspects of this which it's going to cost a little bit of money. We also are looking into getting a new server, local server, and I think that's under $10,000, but it would be a huge improvement for all the units in our department. So we'll be talking more about that as we move forward. Any questions?
Great. I just want to add that Chris has also spoken to Don Lehman regarding trying to get more information out about the emergency rental assistance program. Chris sends me an update broken down by zip codes every Friday, and I've been disseminating that to the full Board of Supervisors and others later that afternoon. And we want to make sure that especially communities in the North Country get that information out to their landlords and tenants. As I've said before, approximately 30% of the housing units in Warren County are rental units. So, and it's not just based on social economic backgrounds. There's a lot of hard-working families who really suffered during the pandemic. So it's important that the true message gets out to the public. So if they're eligible and interested, they can at least put in an application for that type of assistance. So thank you, Chris.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chairman Driscoll. I'd also like to mention that if anyone is considering applying for the ERAP program, please contact us as soon as possible. We have a dedicated crew to this. We've had quite a bit of activity, but I think you are correct. In the North Country, there doesn't seem to be as much activity regarding applications. So I actually just had a brief discussion with Don Lehman before I came in here, and we're going to work on a couple of things to improve the outreach and see if we can get some more people to apply.
Great, thanks. Any other, Julie, I'm sorry. I always forget about the most important thing. My wife would slap my hand if I didn't invite you to come up to the table. So
I'll turn it over to Julie.
Okay, for the revenue and expenditures, we're halfway through the year, so it's a pretty good picture of where we're at. And for the first time ever, I'm really happy we're in our expenses, we're under the 50% mark, which is really good news. And for revenue, we're way over the 50%. So that is really a boom. I think the revenue will start tapering off a little bit. A lot of this was when they withheld the 20% for a lot of last year. They have paid us back a lot of that at the beginning of this year. So I do think we'll see revenue leveling off, but they seem to be settling our claim settlement vouchers a little quicker now that they're back to work. OTDA stated that they're back to work 3 days a week in office rather than being at home. So hopefully our revenue will remain steady. And for our overtime, I think we're doing as best as can be expected with staff shortages. We're always trying to keep it as low as possible, but we can't control on-calls. So our caseworkers are doing their best.
thank you. Does anyone have questions or comments for Julie? Thank you again. Any further questions or comments in general from the floor? I'll ask Mr. Lehman if there's any comments from the public on YouTube.
Hi, Chairman Driscoll. No, there's no comment on YouTube right now.
Great, appreciate it. Thank you. Nothing else being said, I will ask for a motion to adjourn the Human Service Committee meeting. Supervisor McGowan and Smith. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. And I think we're right on schedule.